Good morning, everyone. This is Anna from SciFirma. Welcome to the webinar, Managing Rising Digital Risks by Eliminating Blind Spots, jointly brought to you by Revatech and SciFirma. In the next 60 minutes, we will discuss the importance of having visibility to all your external-facing IT assets, understand what makes you a target for social engineering and phishing campaigns, and be the first to know when your brand is under attack. Presented by SciFirma's President for Research, Delivery and Operations, Saurabh Law, he will address the rising digital risks and help you gain visibility to your digital footprint, data leaks, breaches, and impersonation, and the remedial steps you can take to close your security gaps. In this webinar, you will hear Saurabh sharing case studies and his real-life experience implementing security initiatives and how he strikes a balance between digitalization and cybersecurity. Without further ado, let's get started. Over to you, Saurabh.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Anna. And I will start sharing my screen. And welcome, everybody. Good morning, and thank you for starting your morning with us. Managing risk, digital risk by eliminating blind spots, right? So let's understand a few terms out here. Cyber risks. What is cyber risk? It's any risk which is associated with cyber threats, which actually come or really originate from your external cyber environment. Now, everybody is really connected, which is all digitization is all about. You have understood that ever since pandemic took over, the world had work from home kind of a snapshot arrangement. All the organizations, whether 100-year-old or somebody who's the new kid on the block, really had to get into the digitization bandwagon. They had to change their business model. They had to provide new value streams or value opportunities, right, which started and which were instrumental in growing the businesses really forward. And digitization was the way to go. Now, with digitization also comes the digital risk, because it's risk inherited in the digital products, your footprint, your snapshot, your services, your third-party network, anybody and everybody who's connected in the digital world, it's risk associated with that, which leads further into cyber risk. Something that we all have to incorporate in our day-to-day lives, and as risk managers, each one of us as risk managers in our daily life, we need to make sure that we have control over cyber risk and digital risk. So important questions really when it comes to identifying really some of these blind spots. Do we as a stakeholder have visibility to all our external facing IT assets? Really? Do we know if our systems and applications are vulnerable? Gone are the days that everything is in-house, on-premise. We are using cloud. We are using third-party networks. You have big conglomerates, enterprises, as well as small and medium businesses, right? All utilizing third-party vendors. All are on the cloud. These questions are very important and pertinent. Do we know whether our brand is under attack? Because brand value is what an organization is really in business for, to growing, right? Now, whether you are an enterprise established with a $1 billion or more valuation, or whether you are a small or medium business which has started with an idea, and that idea propagates your business forward and wants to move from a startup phase to a growth phase to an enterprise, it's the brand. And imagine if that idea and that brand is under attack and you're not aware about it. It's almost like somebody is going to enter through the back door of your perimeter or your house, and you have no alarm system out there. So do we know if the brand is under attack? Do we know if the sensitive data out there has been leaked? Everybody is utilizing simple things like your work emails to log on to various forums, various newsletters. You have third-party vendors working on our components that they might be building. We have organizations moving into new geographies, new modules, new functionalities. All this means there is that amount of sensitivity around the data, and data is being now handled with as many number of people in the ecosystem in various shapes and forms, even though they are containerized. And we need to know, as stakeholders or as organization, we need to know if that sensitive data has been leaked. Do we know how the organization or how we are being perceived from the outside? It's quite a notion to believe and understand that, all right, we are being protected by a series of firewalls or perimeter defense systems, as we call it, and that we are safe and sound. Partially true, yes, but it all depends on our understanding and visibility of how are we looking from that outside in view. Because there are perpetrators out there, or there are possibly criminals out there, or somebody who really wants to make merry with probably some financial gains, or probably trying to get even with the brand. They really want to make merry. And from that perspective, how does the brand really look like? How does the organization really look like? Is something that gets identified as an outside in view. All right. Do we know if the hackers have found their way? Right. That is also equally important, because you need to understand that there might be cases, and there are only two cases in cybersecurity, right? Either you are hacked and you know, or you are hacked and you do not know. And in that situation, it is quite important for you to understand from various situations and scenarios that whether a hacker has already found their way in your organization. And I'm just going to quickly check if I am able to, if I'm projecting these slides properly. Just give me a second. Hopefully this is visible now to everybody on the line. All right. Now these blind spots are definitely something that need to be eliminated in order to see the digital risk that an organization is up against, so that we can really identify each one of these risks. And on our day-to-day basis, we can actually quite clearly address this risk. Each one of us is actually a risk manager in our daily, activities that we perform, in our role that we perform for that organization. So there are a few ways on how we address these blind spots, right? You need to have a very clear understanding and visibility of your attack surface. You need to be empowered with some capability, some tool, some product that is able to discover your attack surface. Now, very clearly, what is an attack surface? Well, it's basically identification of those doors and windows into your organization. And it goes in various shapes and forms, and we'll cover through some of those details in the subsequent slides, right? So it's all about just understand it's about the perimeter of your house, and you have those doors and windows, and these are the doors and windows that the thieves actually utilize to actually get into your perimeter or get into your crown jewels to steal them or create some kind of brand predicaments for yourself. Vulnerability intelligence, a little bit different than how vulnerabilities are being perceived, wherein you might run certain tools, not saying that that's not important, but you might run certain tools which will tell you, hey, within the perimeter, here are your 1,000 vulnerabilities that we have picked up in those systems, and this is how we want to address those vulnerabilities. But you need to have that intelligence and that view and visibility of what are those keys which are available out there with the perpetrators, which can be utilized to unlock the best category of locks that you might have put on your doors and windows of your perimeter so that they can come in. So it's about which are these vulnerabilities which are exploited possibly out there, which are running out there in the wild. There are cyber attacks being launched by cyber criminals utilizing this, or listing even a small or a low-level vulnerability that is being heavily exploited, so that organizations understand that these are the vulnerabilities that they need to possibly fix first before they go on marking some of the other vulnerabilities and getting a better better posture and better posture management for the organization. Intelligence about understanding whether the brand is under attack. Very important. Very important for any and every organization that is out there digitally connected, which is the case for every organization in today's world. And finally, understanding the digital risk and trying to protect against those digital risks, trying to take those proactive actions so that you can understand based on is there any impact or infringement or impersonation or any data leak or any data breach, or all in all, understanding how your digital profile really looks like. Let's start and tackle the first one first, which is very important, which is attack surface discovery, right? You need to be able to understand, based on an offering or a product, that how porous your attack surface is. And let's first understand what is an attack surface. It's trying to help you understand what are those porous entry points in your technology stack, in your process stack, in your people stack, that can be utilized by the cyber criminals to penetrate into your organization. And there are various reasons why this happens. Even the best of the best organizations have things like shadow IT, forgotten IT, because you might be onboarding a new application, a new functionality. You might be expanding into a new market. You might be onboarding a new third party over there. Each and every one of these, or you might be carrying out a migration, and each one of these, right, are very clear cases which, if not followed through over a period of time because of gaps in your IT management, your vulnerability management, your patch management, in general, result in some of those entry points for cyber criminals which can be exploited at any point of time. And organizations find it difficult to grab this because at a particular point of time, there might be 50 initiatives, 20 initiatives, or 200 third-party vendors who might be working on different shapes and forms to realize the growth model and the business model that the organization has embarked on. And that is why it is important for organizations and key stakeholders, whether it's the CXOs, whether it's the security managers, whether it's the SOC managers, or in general an SME and an SMB stakeholder, understanding what are those attack surfaces, understanding, being aware of them, having a visibility of them, so that they can very clearly understand how to address these porous entry points, and at the same time, reduce the risk exposure which are being presented by these porous entrance point into the perimeter of the system. It could be, as a few examples I told you, right? You could be transitioning from, let's say, a particular mail system to a new mail system, and you might be putting in some transition servers or applications that will help you to transition from an old system to a new system. But after the transition has happened, what has happened to those migrating servers that have been created? Very easy for organizations to forget that. You might be onboarding a new functionality or growing into a new geography, right? And you might be creating development environments, QA environments, staging environments, or environments that are being utilized to track particular pieces. And over a period of time, if the project moves on and hands over to the service phase, and somebody just forgot because there is a change in personnel, or the patch management and vulnerability management hasn't incorporated all those pieces, you might be surprised. There might be those pieces out there which might be sitting that nobody's looking at, except the cyber criminals, because they are looking for the easiest entry point. So it is very important to have your external attack surface under your control, having the right awareness, having the right visibility, and at the same time, making sure that you are able to reduce that snapshot out there. Starts really from things like your vulnerabilities in domains, your certificate weaknesses. Are there any miss in configurations or configuration issues in your DNS, SMTP, HTTP, just to name a few? Did you, for the sake of it, in trying to establish an easier migration, open all the ports, and some of those ports are lying vacant, empty, without the right controls in place? Is there an IP and a domain reputation that your organization is really facing? Or do you have some of those leaky S3 buckets or some other controls or workloads that are created on cloud which have inherent weakness because it's just not getting managed properly, it is just not getting patched properly, it is just not getting identified in terms of who's the owner and who takes it from the current stage to the next stage. Very important, sounds very easy, but you need a system that is continuously helping organizations understand how these can be achieved. Vulnerability intelligence is all about understanding the vulnerabilities in your external assets. It's about understanding, giving you visibility of how some of these vulnerabilities are being exploited. Are there any attacks, cyber attacks that you should be aware of? Are there any campaigns being run? Some cyber criminal is really interested in one particular vulnerability. We have seen so many cases of Microsoft Exchange related vulnerabilities, Fortinet VPN Exchange, Fortinet VPN related vulnerabilities, and many more. And it doesn't really just stop with those vulnerabilities on those softwares. How about vulnerabilities or in those certificates that are out there? You'd be surprised many certificates might not necessarily be compliant with some of the fixes which have been created for some of the vulnerabilities which have been long existing. And a vulnerability out there can always make a comeback. And you need to be able to understand some of those exploits out there, some of those actions out there, some of those cyber attacks out there, which are really utilizing these vulnerabilities to make merry and come into an organization's perimeter, breach the perimeter, and come in for your crown jewels, or create a brand issue, or create launch a next series of attacks so that you have a bigger disaster with the brand value and the brand aspiration. Very important to understand, very easy to think that just do some scans and understand and go and fix it. But gone are the days when cyber criminals really look at a big vulnerability like WannaCry or Petya. Even the smallest of the vulnerability is an entry point that they can utilize to come into your perimeter. And getting a visibility of that is what vulnerability intelligence is all about. Brand intelligence. Hey, every organization, whether small and medium or an enterprise, it's all about the brand value. And knowing whether your brand is under attack is the most important piece that each one of us need to understand and need to work towards, right? You need to be able to understand how the brand is being targeted. Are there any infringements out there for your brand, your products, your solutions? And some of the case studies we'll be discussing later in the session talks about some of these predicaments out there. It is important to understand that any small and medium business or enterprise is built around one idea. That idea gets transformed into a brand. That brand takes that idea, the brand, the founder, and everybody associated with it from the current state, which is the startup state, to the growth state, to the enterprise state, and hopefully en route to becoming a unicorn. And if that whole idea around that brand, if that whole idea gets compromised or gets attacked, and you have various other things like impersonations happening or negative sentiments being presented out there, then that is an intelligence which us as cyber defenders, which us as stakeholders of managing some of these blind spots have to be really aware of. Look at the digital risk and the persona and the perception and trying to protect against the digital profile that is created for an organization. Start with your domains, your publicly accessible IT assets. Are there any impersonations around there? Hey, are there any impersonations around some of these executives and people who are at the right place, or who are the decision makers or the movers and shakers or thought leaders in their domain, right? And if somebody goes ahead and impersonates them, then it's causing a risk to your digital profile. Lookalike social handlers are simple pieces that happen and can happen to any organization. You might have lookalike Twitter handlers. You might have lookalike LinkedIn handlers, Facebook handlers, or for that matter, any lookalike forum. Let's say tomorrow there is a person called ABC, and there is a lookalike, handler in some of those forums with a small a and double dot on the top and BC, and they start creating a kind of a association, a similar messaging out there. Those are the kind of things that you need to be able to understand and to protect against. And these are all proactive actions that you need to perform. Are there any breaches associated to your brand? Are there any impersonations that we have just talked about, or any clarity on some of the way that the profile, digital profile, is being impacted upon? It is very important to have visibility on this. And many organizations out there, it is very difficult for them to amass all the resources and implement all the resources on the ground to really understand the coverage around and making sure that their digital risk is protected. So it is very important for us as risk managers and trying to manage the blind spots and making sure that the risks are kept down to the minimum. There is a very clear understanding on the digital risk exposures that are possibly going to happen. Look at social and public exposures, right? You might have somebody dealing with confidential files, with source codes, dumps of PII, CII, or malicious mobile apps out there, or even creating negative social sentiment. All these have an impact on how your brand is being looked upon, on what is the sentiment around your brand. You might be best in the class with the idea. You might be the best in the class with the technology that you're implemented. But if you have a negative social and public sentiment around it, if the exposure in some of those forums is created in such a manner that your competition can take, and in spite of being not a starter but a follower, can actually utilize this to take the journey forward and to compromise your journey, then hey, your journey is compromised, and the social and public exposure would really create an impact to the journey that you as a brand will be taking on or is expected to take on, and your journey will be definitely compromised. Very important for us to have visibility on each one of these. Look at the real-time data breach monitoring. Do you have an understanding of what are those emails, those identities, those credential leaks that have happened out there? This is a classic example, right? People use their work email IDs to log into various forums, various public sites, and cyber criminals basically just start utilizing that. It's very easy for somebody to know that, oh, this is how email IDs are being created in that particular organization. First name dot last name at the rate of domain.com as an example. Or, oh, this is the nature, tone, and texture of how people from this particular organization are getting enrolled into some of those forums. Or are there any credential leaks in the sense that, oh, here is the user ID, here is the password, and let me try and utilize this password to break into some of those accounts or some of those confidential systems that I may have access to. And you'll be surprised to know, based on our study, that many people utilize same user ID and password across applications. It's not something that is very uncommon to really state that. You need to be able to understand that such a breach has it happened. What are those kind and nature of breaches? Has it happened a year ago, 2 years ago? Which helps you understand, is my password policy up to the mark? Are my security controls, my third party involvement or adherence of policies by the third party, is it up to the mark? Is there an intellectual property that has been breached based on the source code that I may be my company might be working upon, or based on the operating procedure that I am known for in the industry based on which I am growing, or the kind of tone and texture of my product and my service, or some of the systems or engines that are being utilized? Is there any personal data out there of my employees or my third-party vendors or my customers which is out there? Any exposure in deep web or dark web? Any database exposure? Is my S3 bucket found leaking out there? Are there any financial leaks or carding that are really out there that I can go ahead and and understand and validate how a particular organization works, or what is the nature of their financial dealing, or what are some of those invoices which are getting billed, which means I can go ahead and launch a phishing campaign against utilizing some of that financial information and make some quick bucks out of it, and at the same time create an impact to the brand. So it is really important for organizations and stakeholders to understand what are those breaches that have happened, that are continuously happening, and that are being presented in almost real time. Because it's not about how is this progressing, at this point of time. It is about being able to monitor it continuously. It's about informing of such a breach or such a activity based on continuous monitoring immediately when it happens, so that organizations, stakeholders, and risk managers like you and me can take the necessary proactive action. This is not something that you can stop. This is not predictive. This is being proactive. This is being aware and having that visibility to understand that such a thing has happened. You're not waiting to be caught by surprise. And at the same time, utilizing some of these indicators, you are able to take the right recommendations, remediations at the right time with the recommendations provided, so that you can minimize any impact on your brand, on your journey, on your story, on the value of the brand and financial impact and every other thing. It is all about that. Third-party risk, very important, very valid for each and every one of us in today's scenario. There is not an organization I know who doesn't use a third party. And for specifically organizations who are new kids on the block, who want to keep their costs down to minimum, who want to keep their setup very agile, many organizations utilize third parties, right? It is all about gaining visibility and control based on what are some of those digital risks and cyber risks that are exposed to a third party. Because your cyber posture or your ability to mitigate risk and remove any blind spots is driven by how much, what is the weakest link in your overall ecosystem. And quite many times, organizations' weakest link is the kind of third parties they utilize. It is always something we feel on a day-to-day basis that we need to minimize costs. Two, it is what is easily available out there. Sometimes an easy option which is available out there might not be the best. And third, in the outsourcing world, you only get what you ask for, which means if you never ask for security compliances, when you never ask for the right IAM to be performed or ACL to be presented by the third party, you will have a third party who will be doing bare minimum because they are into the industry for making money out of it and for not doing charity. And that is why for each one of us as cyber risk managers or digital risk managers or risk managers overall, we need to articulate and take control of our third parties, and more importantly, reduce any exposures of risks on those third parties, because cyber criminals might not necessarily always impact or attack you directly. They will attack. They can also easily attack you or cause a disruption via the third party. And that is why it is important for us to take control of this very important risk that we talk about. So trying to create a consumable model of it, right? We need to have a very clear understanding of the data that has been leaked or breached. We need to have a very clear understanding of some of the data, some of the conversations or activities which are happening out there that is presented in not only social, not only surface, but also dark web or various other platforms where your brand's product, or maybe your third parties, or anything that is specific and attributable to your digital risk, to your digital profile and the ecosystem that you're working in is presented to you, so that you understand and you can take those proactive actions. And proactive actions is not something that organizations should be left to ponder on their own. It should be based on recommendations that are provided so that remediations are simple. It should be, these indicators should be presented so in such a manner that that they are consumable, that the client is not required to think so many other ways of how to remediate this particular observation, but is given a very clear guidance, a very clear recommendations on a steps 1, 2, 3, 4 to be performed, and then they're going ahead and creating the remediations. And after the remediations are made, that observation should not appear into your dashboard anymore. You need that kind of a tool. You need that kind of a technology. You need that kind of an ecosystem that is working for you 24/7. You need a very simple and clear dashboard that can tell you, as an organization, what is your risk score and how the observations that have been identified in your external threat and risk landscape really total up to. From a range of 1 to 10, or from a range from 1 to 1,000, how do you really look like? You need to be able to understand how hackable or how lucrative are you to some of those cyber criminals really wanting to create discomfort towards you, your brand, or create a financial transaction on account of your organization. Very clear metrics to be presented to you. Hey, yesterday I had 100 open attack surfaces. Today I have 80, but I have resolved all my critical and high observations. You need to be able to show that positive journey, not only within yourself, but even to your stakeholders, and to make sure that, yes, as risk managers, we are starting to work on some of those blind spots. We are starting to work on some of those observations that have been presented so that we as an organization are better prepared and are able to minimize some of those external risks. You need to be able to view that trend. You need to be able to view some of those alerts, or in real time, any impersonations or any infringements or any digital risk or certificate management, all in one dashboard. You do not need or require 10 different tools to give you that visibility, because, hey, specifically as an SME or an SMB, resources are minimal. The ability to work with 10 different tools is definitely not an option because resources themselves are minimal. You want some platform, some tool, some offering that can present that to you on a click of a button, that can generate alerts using 24/7 monitoring and send those alerts into your email so that you can very quickly act on it. That can give you that complete visibility as to how your external threat and risk landscape is being managed, and how you can really manage your digital risk to protect your brand in a better manner. All right, all said and done. Here are some of the case studies that at least utilizing Detect, which was the product that we were talking about, and you saw a couple of screens of how we have really helped organization, right? So this is a classic case for with a pharmaceutical organization that we were working with, a very large, well-known pharmaceutical organization, which has a huge presence in this part of the world, and especially in countries like India. We helped the CISO to really understand, using our external attack surface discovery, their shadow IT and forgotten IT landscape. I can assure you they were in for a surprise that when they initiated a project a few years ago, they were not even sure and aware that some of those systems and some of those assets actually fell through the crack, and they were still out there running really vulnerable software versions because just nobody was looking at it. So as an outcome, what this did, it made them rework on their infrastructure management processes and procedures, the patch management and vulnerability management processes and procedures. They were updated, but in a nutshell, it impacted their technology stack process management, which we have listed out here, but it also made them understand the gaps in their processes as well as in the people who are able to understand. So people, process, technology, all three were impacted by a very simple observation from an external attack surface discovery. Impersonations and infringement, and this is a classic case. We helped the risk management team identify a lookalike website that was hosted in Eastern Europe, which was using a lookalike message, brand, logo, product, services, and which was functioning full throttle and was selling those brands, that brand's products and services, and was creating a huge impact from in a financial standpoint, because obviously all that transaction or all that dealing is happening and it's taking the cash flow away from you as an organization. It is having an impact on customer loyalty because customers are buying those products and services thinking that it is the original brand when it is not, which is also leading to an issue related to brand loyalty. Because tomorrow, if there is a issue with some of those, and this is pharmaceutical industry, right? So if there is an issue with that, some of those products or services that are being presented, then customers will most likely have a bad taste with that particular brand, the original brand, and could also lead to some litigations, even though they might not go through. So, well, the organization stakeholders updated the risk register with the findings. A takedown was initiated for the website, which led to saving that value stream, which led to bringing down such an operation, which was creating a huge impact to the brand, as well as, of course, having a financial dent into it, into the brand valuation, and brought back that geography into the mainstream of financials and association with the brand in the right essence and in the right manner. So all these are really actionable use cases that have utilizing which we have really helped our clients and customers. And there are many which we are not able to talk about, but here are simple examples that you can understand how some of these pieces that we have talked about really relate to it becoming an actionable and consumable insight where brands and organizations can take some of those proactive actions. Data breach monitoring. So we helped certain data breaches and credential leaks that have happened in this particular case, so that the cyber team really took some of those proactive steps to address these data breaches. They blocked some of that data which was out there. They changed some of the tone and texture of the data that got leaked out there, as well as some of those credentials were changed, updated, the password policies, the account policies, third-party management policies were all updated, so that with the update in operational procedures, so that the risk is mitigated out there. Now, please understand, with digital risk discovery and protection, right, it is not about having a predictive understanding of this is going to happen. It is all about gaining the visibility that a particular piece has, or a particular impact or risk has gotten materialized. And it's the ability of risk managers like us to really get visibility against those blind spots and then take those proactive actions to address those blind spots. Otherwise, it's a very simple state. I don't know something has happened doesn't mean that the same thing has not happened. And in cybersecurity, as I just mentioned earlier in the session today, there are only two stages, right? Either you are hacked and you know, or either a digital risk has happened and you know, or it has happened and you do not know. And many a times it's the visibility that is not being presented to the stakeholders, to the decision makers, to risk managers like you and me, so that we are not empowered to take the right decision because we are not informed correctly of all those predicaments that have happened. In digital risk discovery and protection, getting that visibility and getting to know that something has happened so that you can incorporate that into your decision making and you can be proactive in your measures and addressing those pieces is what is really, really important. Very importantly, as we just talked about helping organizations, our tool Detect helps organizations manage their third-party risk. And here are some of those examples. We helped a very big manufacturing conglomerate by helping the team identify leaked source code that was visible from a publicly accessible Git repository. And this was just identified by our tool based on onboarding that was done. And for onboarding, we only utilized the domain name and some of those keywords that an organization wants us to help them monitor about. So security team was able to restrict the visibility, train the necessary third party out there to avoid such leaks in future, and also make sure that these pieces were added into their overall regular third party assessment checklist. It's very important to introduce the third party into your ecosystem and create or assess the third party based on checklist. But after that, most of risk managers forget and they think that, oh, everything is working well on day one. Every assessment has gone on fine, so everything should be working on thereafter well as well. Well, that's not the reality, right? Because out there, everything is changing every moment. A new piece of code is added, something has changed. A new person joined the team, something has changed. A new system has been onboarded, something has changed. A new technology is onboarded or a new module is onboarded, something has changed. A new set of vendors have been onboarded, something has changed. Or even your stakeholder changes, something has changed. Change is always on the constant, which means that assessment of third parties being compliant, that assessment of getting the visibility of how third parties are managing their risk is absolutely important. Taking that to another example of a global bank, we identified a payment gateway third-party service provider, towards which we were able to identify some of those conversations targeting specific assets and porous entry points which were identified using your external attack surface discovery, which were identified as entry points and vulnerable pieces that could have been used by cyber criminals to launch an attack on the third party and through the third party vendor into the client organization. A very classic case, because we might have all our ducks in the row, everything sorted out there. All it needs is the third party or one of the third party in our supply chain ecosystem or third party ecosystem to have a vulnerability or a porous attack surface or a data breach or a credential leak, and somebody gets hold of that, gets entry into their system, and through their environment and system get entry into our organization and really run away with our crown jewels or create disruption for our brand and financial value chains. So in this case, well, the risk register again, first step was updated. Remediations were performed based on the observations we had presented to the client. Entry point security controls were strengthened. At the same time, the third-party risk assessment was made an ongoing activity, in this case, every half a year. And specifically, the vendors who were not complying were actually identified and were replaced in due course. It is very important for us to take those steps because you shouldn't be waiting for risk from your third-party landscape or exposure being realized. We should all be mitigating it earlier. In many SME and SMB clients, we have presented the visibility to key stakeholders on negative social sentiments and possible impersonations that can be used for launching phishing attacks, which can lead to more cyber attacks. All it needs is your founder to be impersonated and some colorful conversations being made on Twitter and LinkedIn, and I can assure you the association of your brand will definitely get impacted. Or it needs your domain or your to be impersonated, and somebody utilizing that to send phishing emails to yourself, your customers, your third parties, and really even getting one person of them to start acting on it. It can be a launch pad into more sinister cyber attack or persistent activities that can be launched by some of those cyber criminals. It could also have an association of corporate espionage, wherein people can utilize some of these pieces to really get one better into that idea that is making your brand exist. It is that one idea that has brought your organization from where it was when it was incubated to a very strong startup or to a very growth centric organization which is en route to possibly becoming a unicorn in the next few years. It can be any of these pieces. And we help our clients to understand some of those negative social sentiments. In this case, the client team worked to address those negative social sentiments by running campaigns, by executing corrective actions, as well as some of those impersonated domains were blocked, some other actions were performed to make sure that third parties, customers were made aware that, you know, this is the right email and we will not reach out to you in case there is no need. Those kind of campaigns being introduced out there. But more importantly, within the organization, those controls, strengthening up of those controls to make sure that, you know, employees advently or inadvertently or customers or third parties were really not impacted by those phishing emails or any other cyber attacks that can be realized post the impersonations that really happen out there. So with these at least 6 examples, we are able to showcase to you that, hey, digital risk discovery and protection works in our context with Detect because it identifies and works for you real time 24/7, presents you those insights, presents you a visibility towards those risks within your ecosystem. If there is something impacting your brand, if there is something that is acting as a porous attack surface that is out there that you do not have any control on, and more importantly, present you that visibility in that one pane, single pane glass with all the indicators out there, but not only presenting you that visibility, but telling you how to remediate, what are those actions that need to be performed out there that can really negate those blind spots, that can make you more aware and help you take the right informed decisions and really propel your growth journey forward. You do need somebody to look after your digital profile, and Cypherma truly believes Detect is the answer to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thanks, everyone. Anyone with a question, please feel free to put it into the chat box. And if not, we'll close the call, and you can reach out to Saurabh at his email address, and we can continue this conversation. We'll give it a few minutes for anyone who wants to send over a question. All right. It looks like this is pretty much it. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thanks, Saurabh. Thanks, Revitech.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Have a nice day ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye.